50% of the time, the biggest ways that I see small businesses lose 20, 30, or even 40% of their profit is in not pricing correctly. So in this video, we're going to show you our number one tool that we use to ensure that you get all of your money and you don't underprice. Now, this particular tool that we're going to discuss is called Calc.gsa.gov. It's on the screen, Calc.gsa.gov. And what Calc.gsa.gov is, it is a tool that GSA has created where they've categorized all of their 19 contract vehicles, and all the contractors who are on those vehicles, they've taken their hourly rates and they put them into a database that you can use and search. Now, on top of putting this information in a database where you can find out what are the hourly rates for positions like clinical psychologist, social worker, therapist, janitorial person, whatever it is that your industry you want to cover, in addition to them having the rates in there, they also have the job descriptions and the titles that match the descriptions. And what happens is when we were putting together an estimate for this bid, we didn't really know what do you pay the graphic designers, because we have a marketing team and we use them to do our graphics. Or you go to Fiverr, right? So we might use Fiverr or Upwork or Guru.com to pull a person in just for a one-off type project, or maybe use them to send all your graphics and they do it for $20 or $30 or $40. But if you had to put someone on your payroll, what would that rate look like? And so that's when we were able to use this particular tool to determine what is a fair market rate for someone that does this role. And also, how, what does that look like? What does their job description entail? And it actually helped shape our write-up and our bid as well. So let's take a look. And I'll use some of the examples that we did. So we just literally, you can go on here and type in graphic designer, and it tells you there's different levels of graphic designers, which is kind of neat. But we just chose general graphic designer and hit search, and it gave us 200 results, right? So it's showing 200 of 226 results, and it shows you their rate. So its average rate is $99 an hour. And then what you can do, which is really cool, this tool is on here, you'll show the actual vendor and the contract information. And you're able to use that. By the way, before we even get there, let's just start up here. There's some additional filters on the side. So you can look at whether they're high school degree, associate's, bachelor's, master's, PhD. You could sort by that. And then you could sort by experience. So there's really cool. Let's say that the job called for someone with, 5 years experience or more. There you go. So you can do 5 years experience or greater, right? Or the opposite, right? You said, look, I want someone that has less than 5 years experience, which again, I don't know why, but you could do it. So there's various ways in which you can search. I'm just going to leave it open. And then what we did was we looked at, is the person for us an entry-level person? And sometimes when we have projects, for example, when we had to estimate for a IDIQ for construction, they wanted a superintendent, a safety officer, but each role had to have a minimum number of years experience. So that's where that played a vital role. So again, here you could charge, for example, this person looks like to be the cheapest. They're charging $29 an hour for a junior graphic designer. And you could click on this particular profile and read, he's not active. All right. Read as a university. Let's skip. I don't want to do a university sponsored project. Let's go in here. Let's look at Jordan and Howard Technologies. All right. And I'm going to search graphic designer. Boom. All right. And it shows you here graphic designer. And there's the different price points that they charge for graphic designer 1. Now, you're probably saying, well, what is graphic designer 1? Let's see. Right? What do they call graphic designer 1? Because that's really important. That's a labor category, but what does that mean? So here, graphic designer 1, and it tells you here, graphic designer 1, 0 to 1 year experience, high school diploma or equivalent, and it tells you their responsibilities. Then it tells you responsibilities of graphic designer 2. All right. And what we were able to do was we were able to use this information to really craft our bid and help shape our bid. Because when you're thinking about, right, if you have to have 5 years experience, or, maybe you can't charge a person if you're a graphic designer, has 0 to 1 year experience, that seems like a comparable rate. If the person has 2 to 5 year experience, there's a different rate for that. And this chart was able to help do that. Now, something else that we did, for example, which is really cool, let's look at, I don't think they have podcasts in here. Nope, they don't have podcasts. But what they did have was a host. And we looked at it, because I know we looked at this. This is a hosting manager. Nope. On-air host. There you go. So we were able to find an on-air host at this company here, Focus Media, and we pulled out a description to see, did it match what we're looking for? So once again, all right, on-air host. Boom. So it tells you what their job is. On-air host performs these duties, gives you an hourly rate, 5 years more camera experience. Content producer, when you're doing your technical write-up and you're saying, we're going to have these different roles in here, and you know in your brain, like, okay, what are the roles I want to have to do this job? Okay, I know I need someone that makes the content, someone that writes the content. Okay, but you don't really know how to express it. Here is a great way that you could search and get all of the words that you were looking for on how to express yourself in terms of making this content. Again, just a really neat tool that it doesn't really matter what industry you're in if you're looking for a nurse. So they got different registered nurses on here, right? Nurses, nurse practitioners, nurse assistant, all of the categories that you're looking for. Let me see if they have janitorial. I'll just search. Okay, janitorial, custodial, maintenance, field supervisors, first line workers. So again, everything that you're looking for is here in this particular database, and it basically sorts it however you want to sort it, and then you can pull up and look at, so look, janitorial supervisor, okay, look, South Dade Air Conditioning, first line supervisor's worker, 5 year experience, $30 an hour. So again, if you are in the business where you need workers and you need employees and you got to put full time and you have to do an estimate that calls for that, like this particular estimate that I pulled up. Let me see if I can pull up on the screen. This is one that I pulled up just on Beta Sam. This is an example of what the government might send you. If you have a spreadsheet like this and you're looking at it and you're going to myself, oh my gee, I don't know what to do, where to start. Eric, please help, because a lot of you reach out to me, help. All right. I want you, the next time this happens to you, to come here over to GSA, Calc.gsa.gov, and start your process here.